upon my world of fire, ash, and stone. Each one of us was a warrior, and we all stood alone. We made rusting mountains with our bones. The landscape was a mire of crimson tones. We ravaged as new brothers rose from flame. There was no end to the slaughter, for death was a game. From the deep, the mountains unleashed the planet's rage. Born from magma and forged of metal, we are the offspring of a dark age. I am no different from the others. My weapons were as sharp, my metal just as hard. I felt countless numbers, and none grieved for those I marred. Till that day, she was sent. Till that day she was sent. For her being here could have been nothing but by intent. There was no other place she could survive, so to land where she did was by design. On an outcropping above a lava flow, a rare burst of rain filled a stone bowl. I strode past and gave it no heed, but next I returned, something there invited me. A tiny spear of splendid sheen. In the water was a color I'd never seen. With keen observance I watched to see what it would do, this lovely thing that was resplendent as it grew. It had a dress of lace that wrapped about the stone cradle, catching up dirt and minerals, a collection of the world's finest materials. It stretched until limbs emerged from a spine not made of bones. Then an expanding head rose to a graceful pose. I marveled how with just the elements within its reach, it could make itself complete. Then what it did next took me by surprise. The swelling head split on all sides. The pieces rolled back, revealing a face of delicate blades, which turned toward me, vibrant, blinding, glorious colors, arrayed for all to see. It stood with limbs spread like a warrior surrendering. However, this wasn't surrender, but a joyous greeting. At the center of the fearless face, I saw its children protected by its embrace. That is when I knew it was a mother. Enchanted by her kind nature, I stroked the velvet blades of nameless colors. But my hard, battered hand was disgraced and filled me with remorse. How could I put names to something that made my wretched frame feel shame? She brought life and beauty, and I wrought terror in my reign. I dropped my heavy head, covered with eons worth of scars. She showed me so clearly what I was, a maker of wars. There was a breeze, and she caressed my downcast face. She showed no judgment, and cared not about past ways. A rising warmth filled my metal, my mouth moved of its own accord and made a smile settle. Her very presence made me feel stronger and braver. For once I felt happy and my wrath waver. I was the first to feel elation, and she was the provider of this sensation. This joy turned cold when a flying cinder lighted on her and a blade was kindled. Instantly the blade caught fire and blackened, the glorious colors slain. It shriveled and distorted, writhing in pain. I knew the spiteful flame would claim the rest, so I did what I thought the worst act of my race. I seized the burning blade and tore that piece from her face. She was saved. I'd protected her. But a gaping wound, a scar, now marred her glorious face. I turned angry, hateful eyes toward the culprit, the raging, jealous mountain of my birth. I cursed the cradle of my beginning, and swore an oath that I would pound and tear that wretched hell on earth. In response, my jealous mother sent down a storm of cinders. In this game, there would not be two victors. I cast myself between them and acted as her shield. Though the heat was great, I did not yield. I knew that here on my world, the beauty would never remain alive, a rare and precious gem that needed a haven to thrive. I thought that I could pluck her off her stone and carry her away, but the slightest pull broke and tore her dress to my dismay. I was large and strong. I would move her and the stone. I heaved and slashed, but the place where she sat was the foot of my mother mountain's throne. How cruel, I thought, that this beauty glorifies the mountain, yet the mountain in its shame should destroy her with disdain. Though great flaming stones descended and dented my back, I stayed and guarded her, the beauty on the rock. Never before had I defended, never had I this respect that someone other than myself that I should protect. But in time a new dilemma. The wet mud that sustained her was drying fast. She weakened and slouched, and her scarred yet heavenly face became downcast. I began to panic. She needed water, but I could not leave, or the mountain would this angel smother. I needed help, I knew, but my brothers would slay me sooner than aid me. I didn't know what to do. I watched her worsen and despaired. I felt sorrow in my chest, but I didn't know a way had been prepared. A brother passed at this moment and saw my sorrow. He thought me weak and charged to overthrow. I saw him coming and stood defiant. If a fight he wanted, this I would grant. His axe met my sword. They locked together and I roared. I will not die today. You cannot make me fall. I am the protector of the beauty, the most precious thing of all. My brother looked and saw between my feet the wilted but still vibrant angel, the bringer of all I knew was sweet. In that instant he forgot his blade. He stooped to gaze as if I wasn't. He was overcome with feelings this lovely lady in me did create. At first joy, then concern, then dread at her state. Said he, at her weary posture, I'd say you've done poorly. A blade is missing, and she needs something sorely. She needs water, and I cannot leave, I huffed. Our mother is spiteful and rough. For the moment I turn my head, she will unleash her wrath and make this here ash. He replied, one warrior is no match for mother. Let two stand for the beauty and preserve this rare wonder. Go and find some water. It will take a while. Though this is a world ruled by fire, it may yet be fertile. I will put my back between her and mother. I have many scars, but do not mind another. I was not sure if I could trust my brother, for we'd met in battle against the other. But I had no choice, for our keep was fading at my feet. So I left the two and ran abroad, searched every cave and damp sod. Everywhere I went, if there was something wet, it was filled with acid, or a poison if met. I searched and never wearied, but after no success, I felt I had failed and she was dead. I had to see her before the fade of her glory, to imprint the one good I had in my memory. When I arrived at what I was sure would be a grave, I found instead a palace made from obsidian paved. Across the land my brothers met, not in battle, but in the labor of this structure they campaigned. The brother I had left with my charge found me and explained. Many brothers came to fight me while you sped. I told them all what you said. Each one was caught up by her elegance and her plight, so each one pledged that the endless fight would cease until she were right. One said he would build a wall to block the wind that stole the wetness from her soil. Another knew how to build a ceiling so she would not spoil. Each came with a skill to give, and here you see a palace, fitting for the greatest good to live. Being both amazed and grieved my journey I detailed. It's all for nothing, for I have failed. A plethora of foes in my time I have slain, but I could not find a single drop of rain. All's well, my friend. Many hands build, but many more search, and precious water was collected and poured on her perch. He took me inside as our mother mountain rumbled in displeasure. There she sits, unmoved, the beauty on her throne most brilliant. He'd spoken true, I saw her erect, straight, healthy and magnificent. But our joy was not to last. Our mother mocked our goodly task. She sent flows of ash and lava to crash against our walls. They fell and crushed all inside the hallowed halls. For the first time we wept for brothers who were rent. Their skill and labors had created beauty and enrichment. Now they'd been felled, not by us, but by our mother. Most of all we grieved our lost beauty, our one good. All hands came and dug through the cooled lava, ash and stone, searching for the grace, surely crushed and alone. I found the beauty and she was dead, pressed flat by the stones we'd hewn to preserve her bed. All gathered around me as I agonized over the precious good that had been forced apart. All sadly left but did not fight, for battle had been coaxed from each heart. I couldn't bear to leave her side. Though my cause was dead, I could not go, for the strength of my frame had fled. My first true brother, though our union brief, stayed by me and shared my grief. I did not notice the calming of my mother's fire, the faltering of her thunder, for as she looked down upon her work, something in the grave made her wonder. Specks of vivid color were seen amongst the beauty's broken body. Thousands of tiny sprouts encircled her fallen place. My mother's wrath turned to pity. Her rage and jealousy lost its heat. A surrogate mother she became when the children of another embraced her feet. All our brothers came and saw the children of the beauty rising from the ashes our mother gave, born from the price their mother paid. In time they grew and spread their children too. Our mother's slopes became a carpet of vibrant color we called blue. Clothed in a lovely dress she dared not soil. Our mother's cauldrons ceased to boil. She put on a dress and we shed armor. We forgot our battles and became gardeners, protectors of the beauties now spreading great good. For only by design of some great power could metal hearts be melded by a small blue flower.